With Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, Donald Trump took a few minutes late last week to make a promise. He's going to cure AIDS and childhood cancer. The president said at a
Why stop at childhood?
No, just the kids. At a Cincinnati rally on Thursday, quote, "The things we're doing in our country today, there's never been anything like it. We will be ending the AIDS epidemic shortly in America and curing childhood cancer very shortly."
Him and Biden are both going to cure cancer.
This is great if they work together.
We should get them together,
Yeah.
man. I don't know. Could there be I know it's unprecedented, pardon the pun, but could we get Biden to be VP? He's already been a pretty good vice president.
Experience.
And between the two of them,
cancer truce.
Adios to cancer.
Yeah. So just to give you a little insight.
That almost happened. That was a close to being a real thing when McCain was running. He almost picked Joe Lieberman as his running mate, and that probably would have changed the election. I mean,
the process.
That would have changed the results of that election, and the world today might look very different.
Huh.
So just so we can kind of wrap our heads around what's actually possible.
Can we have AIDS in this country kind of under control?
Under control.
But
not eradicated.
Cured or eradicated.
The Kaiser Foundation.
Here's one. You always sigh. Here's how you know, by the way. If you want, there are little tips that you guys should listen to, which is like if when you meet at some point when you meet Tessa's new boyfriend who's 19 and you go,
she's 3 for God's sake.
At some point when you meet him.
Oh, I see.
And you say, what are you up to? And he goes, right now, or currently, or what am I doing or what do I want to do? Because I want to be a celebrated playwright. Now, I'm working at Coin Op London. Right. So when you hear AIDS or anything like that, child mortality, any bad stuff, and you hear them go, worldwide, the statistic, we're done. Right. That means the United States, we're done.
We have a handle.
We got it. We got it handled.
We're good.
If they say in the United States, many people die of AIDS, then you got to listen up. But when they switch from in the United States to when they switch to
globally,
worldwide, now we're done. That means we don't have to deal with it.
And the right now thing, as it pertains to jobs, gets exponentially worse the older you get. Because if you're 18, you're figuring things out. You got samples and things. If you're 45, right now,
right.
So here's kind of the breakdown of where we're at with childhood cancer and AIDS. The Kaiser Foundation says the cure rate for childhood cancer is around 80%, but we haven't moved the needle on that number in about 20 years. The White House has pledged $500 million in additional research funding over the next 10 years, hoping that will increase to 10% to 90% for a cure rate. The administration wants to reduce transmission of HIV by 75% in the next years. In the next 5 years, and 90% in the next 10 years. It plans to target hotspots for increased funding, use data to track infection rates more closely, and create local task forces for education and outreach.
Wasn't Trump going bareback with one of his lady friends?
Just the one?
Well, I remember
he finds condoms irritating.
I think it was the Playmate. There's the lower key, not the Stormy Daniels, but there was the McDougal.
Okay.
She was Playmate of the Year, man.
Wow.
Was she Playmate of the Year?
I'm almost. She was a big deal when I was becoming
that's how
a
you
man.
know. Right. So I do kind of remember like the interview with her, and there was some sort of no condom thing in there.
No condom clause?
It's a tacit agreement.
I seem to remember either that or Stormy Daniels. I can't remember, but I remember Playmate of the Year in 1998, back when it meant something. But there was some condom and no condom talk.
Okay.
And I do remember that. Anyway. Good.
I often have this thought about the U.S. and given our massive resources. If everyone being scientists and doctors and whatever are so focused on the spectrum of everything. If everyone just focused on one thing for a year, we could probably eradicate the one thing, then move on to the next big thing, then move on to the next big thing, because we just the massive resources we have and the brain power.
I guess I don't know if you could do it.
It's unrealistic. It's hypothetical.
I know if you could do it under the umbrella of cancer, but colon cancer maybe. Like if you pick a form of cancer,
brain cancer. being number one.
Eh.
Let's get to
Yeah.
that. Get to that pretty quick.
I wish. I also always, whenever I hear about this, like we're going to take $500 billion and we're going to do a 5-year program. I hear about that, like, and we're going to get rid of AIDS or whatever. And then there is also that, like, and then we're going to take $200 kajillion. We're going to Mars, and whatever. And I always hear about that. And there's always a part of me, I don't know if you guys are wired like this, but I always fantasize like I used to when I was a kid. Mm. I had a sister that was a year older than me. She ran away, 13 and a half. I saw her sporadically. But I always had that sort of fantasy about the brother who was the high school jock, who had his own van, who was a good-looking dude and popular, who then went off to college or started a business and had a successful business. And then I could, like, that's sort of like the feeling. So I grew up with incompetent parents and no family structure, and I always had this feeling of vulnerability. Like, who's going to take care of me? Right. How could I get a job? Like, it was never like, well, your dad, he'll pay for college, and then you can get a job at his law firm. Mm-hmm. There was none of that. Or like, he owns a car dealership, so you'll get a good car for college. There's this weird insecurity to never having a safety valve or anybody with money or assets or anything. Right. And I feel that way, like, as a country. Like there's times when I go, I wish there was another United States, some place that everyone else went to, some place where, well, there's a tsunami in Vietnam. Well, what are they doing about it? Like, why isn't that other United States? It's always like, what are we doing about it? How come we're not letting in more people? Why haven't we innovated? How come we're not curing AIDS? How come we haven't put a man on Mars? How come we? Yeah. Wouldn't it be some great if you just heard there was some doppelganger of the United States, and it's like, they've pledged $200 billion to end bone cancer. And it's like, and then they figured it out. And you'd be like, oh, good. Now give us the recipe.
The other edge of that sword, though, is always be measured up against them. Well, they figured it out.
Well, this is the thing I was thinking about. Like, it wouldn't be like they would bomb us because we don't bomb Canada. Mm-hmm. It's like we don't do that. I wouldn't do that, but there would be a weird kind of thing where we'd be like,
more like your brother.
Yeah, there'd be an element of like, we're number one. It'd be kind of a weird, like, and everyone wants to be here. Like, it's the microcosm of that was, now that it's turned into a rolling pile of shit, not so much, but living in Los Angeles used to be that, well, everyone wants to get here, and I'm here already.
Right.
So at least I got that going for me. I'm not in Montana. Yeah. Everyone wants to come here. Now everyone's, fleeing.
Going to Jackson Hole.
Right, but there is that sort of, what would that do to you emotionally? But still quietly.
The better twin.
Wouldn't it be cool if there was just one kick-ass country? And look, you got your Swedens and your Germanys and stuff, but I mean, it needs to be bigger. Mm-hmm. That just was going to pledge.
Behemoth.
They were going to eradicate this disease and that disease, and they're going to put a man or woman on Mars, and we were going to just go, fine, we'll enjoy seeing the photographs and all the data you pick up from when you land on Mars.
Yeah.
Yes.
And enjoy not footing the bill.
That's right.
As it pertains to AIDS, we've come so far so fast. Doesn't it make you guys frustrated that, like, it's crazy that there are diseases like ALS or Alzheimer's where it's like, yep, don't know the cause, don't know the cure.
Maybe it's deodorant.
No treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like, we've come so far so fast. It's one thing. It makes you realize, like, yes, if there was enough attention focused on any one thing could be eradicated or at least addressed in a realistic way.
Meaningful, yeah.
I agree with you. I've sort of brought this up in front of Drew a time or two, and they usually give you a good reason as to why that one thing is different than the other thing and why you can attack certain things and eradicate them and why others are much more difficult. Right. So I wish it was as satisfying as just just take the same focus and the same money and put it on ALS and let's get rid of that. Drew would probably tell you why that wouldn't work, but
AIDS was considered a death sentence. You get it, you die. That's it. And now it's a chronic condition.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, if Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were following you on Instagram, we have bad news. They're not following you anymore. But there's a way to get them back. In an Instagram post, Meghan and Harry explained that they want their followers to nominate, quote, your force for change for a chance to earn a follow from their Sussex Royal account. The royals say each month they'll change the accounts they follow to highlight various causes, people, and organizations doing amazing things, quote unquote. Yes.
I got thoughts. I'm picturing what is it? Oh God, what was all the thing going on? Like just be calm and whatever.
Keep calm and carry on.
And carry on and stuff. I've been noticing kind of the royal colors, ironically, kind of a royal blue and white. Feel like that's the color scheme. The thing we're looking at is a blue with a white. Bucko, it's called British Racing Green for a goddamn reason. That is, their color is green. Their color is green. That's their color.
You start using that E-type color.
That's right. Different countries have different colors. You know who's blue and white? Goddamn United States. Shelby America. You look at all the Shelby race cars from the 60s, it's blue and white. Yellow, France, because they're cowards. The yellow bellies.
They know it. They know it.
They knew what color to pick. No one assigned them that color. We didn't have an old-time miner show up and go, you folks are yellow.
We know.
We know.
We know.
They assigned themselves yellow.
Yeah.
Germany, silver. Italian, red.
Red, sure.
Okay. Those are their colors. It's interesting that, oh, shit. Is France, God damn it, is France light blue or is it yellow? Is yellow Brazil or something like that? Anyway, the point is this. I like the joke of being yellow. We'll stick with that. British racing.
What's the color of the flag?
Goddamn. I'm not asking what the colors flags are. The British racing green, it's British. That's the goddamn Bentley is green. Jag is green. Aston Martin. That's their goddamn color. So listen, Prince over here and the popper and whoever's doing this, go to green. That's your color.
Then maybe we'll
white
listen.
and blue. Show me a Max Pata. Show me a 65 Shelby Mustang, and you shall see a white car with a blue stripe on it. Those are American racing colors. Those are the colors we race. Sorry. How dare they?
Yeah.
I'm sure many podcasts are upset about this as well. France has that light blue.
Damn it.
Damn it. Who's yellow then? Brazil? Find me yellow. I got to know who yellow is. Probably another cowardly country. Probably more cowardly than France, even.
You don't
Probably
even
had no resistance. Yes.
So you don't even want to be a force for change until they change these colors up.
My force for change is you change your color to British Racing Green on your website, and then I shall join you. Until then, we're not having a conversation.
Bugger off.
Bugger off.
So over the past 20 years or so, more parents all over the world are waiting to have kids to a later age. And with this trend, a Dutch study conducted across multiple universities set out to examine behavior patterns among kids who are born to older parents. And research discovered that children born to these older parents tend to have less external behavior issues like aggression and disobedience. They're often more well-behaved.
Yellow is Belgium,
Except for
Spain,
Brian
and Sweden, those cowardly countries.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Sorry.
A study conducted in the Bishop household says this is a total BS.
You're the exception to the rule. For the study, researchers analyzed the behavior patterns of 33,000 Dutch children between the ages of 10 and 12. And problem behavior was recorded by the teachers, the parents, the kids themselves. The children's parents, by the way, ages varied from 16 to 48. I imagine that's when the children were actually born. Researchers say this drop in behavior issues persisted even after they accounted for socioeconomic stuff, saying that it's not all about income level when it comes to children's behavior. The older parents tend to have more well-behaved kids.
Well, older parents are more mature, obviously, and are just better. You're just better at what. Look, when you were 23, how good were you at anything that didn't have to do with a physical endeavor? Yeah. I'm not talking about ultimate frisbee, but any kind of thinking, any kind of planning, any kind of how. When I hear about people having kids at 19 and stuff, and then I think of myself at 19, holy shit! I mean, I don't think I knew how to think until I was 25. I couldn't imagine parenting. I waited specifically for that reason, but.
We can barely take care of ourselves.
I know, 25. So I don't know how it would work. All right, let's do one more.
All right. Well, then I want to do something different.
All right, but now you teased old people.
Yeah, you're terrible at driving. Okay. So basically, a study finds that when it comes to older drivers, they're very distracted by technology in their cars, more so than younger drivers. So on average, drivers between the ages of 55 and 75 take their eyes off the road more than 8 seconds longer than younger drivers when performing, quote, simple tasks like programming navigation or turning on the radio using all the infotainment technology. So
One of
these
the
are potentially
simple-
unsafe distractions.
One of the simple things as I was pulling up behind a RAV4 today, and again, if I see a RAV4 or Honda CR-V, that just says to me, I wish I didn't have to drive, but I live in L.A., so I have to drive something.
Forgive
and
me.
It shall be either RAV4 or CR-V. The people going from the 134 freeway on to the 5 freeway, the people that merge, the people who slow down to merge, I wish we could coach those goddamn people up.
If only a network of signs. That
I
everyone
know.
could
It's like
see.
you can merge much more safely and much more easily if you speed up. You're going 44 miles an hour. Everyone else is going 63.
You're still on the freeway.
I'm behind you, and now you can't merge
Mm-hmm.
because the cars are coming up too fast. How about you accelerate? It's like people are like, I got to slow it down.
Yeah.
I'm moving the wheel 1 degree to the left. I must slow it down. It's like, no, speed it up and zipper right
Get
on
in the flow with traffic.
Right. They slow down to merge, and it doesn't. They're probably wondering why it's not effective. They're like, they start slowing down, and they go, all these other cars
They're
are coming up.
flying behind me.
Why don't they notice me?
I'll slow down more. We'll be safer.
Yeah.
Slower isn't always safer, people.
Well said.
Any football coach will tell you on that kickoff return team, kickoff coverage team, you go half speed, that's when you get hurt, right, Brian?
That's right. Take a knee. Mm-hmm. Helmet's on a chair.
I would love to point out this one really quick 2-sentence story because I just want you to see the video.
I just want to picture a close-up of Nick Cage's face watching Bruce Lee act like a douchebag in that new Tarantino movie. I just want a close-up, like a
His
camera. It's a
reaction.
very tight shot of just his face. No words, no dialogue. I
Just
just want to see what
reaction
his
shot.
face. I want to see his face moving.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
sorry.
have reaction videos on YouTube. They're very popular.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
So this wave pool, and I'll show it to you in a second, this wave pool at a water park in China malfunctioned late last week and turned into a terrifying scene where a massive wave just swept through this pool, injured multiple park goers, no deaths being reported.
They have one of these wave pools at the cruise island we're going to.
Yeah, everybody put your seatbelt on.
Man-made tsunami.
That's right.
According to multiple news outlets, the wave was caused by an electrical malfunction to the wave machine. We could put this up, but you just got to see this wave.
Dying to see this wave.
So nice little wave pool. It's coming out of a cave, and it's
wow.
just mowing over people.
This is awesome.
That's pretty good.
I don't know why it's awesome. Everyone's fine, right? A couple bumps and bruises
Skis.
or whatever.
It's
but
like
that's good.
it's the size of a medium-sized wave you'd see in the ocean, but in the context of a wave pool,
Yeah.
that's way
You
too
weren't ready
big.
for it.
Right. I got to tell you, we'll tease it, but later, somebody was sending me a tweet. We'll get into it tomorrow, maybe. Write it down, Maxipata. My Navageddon proclamations from 15 years ago when
Come to fruition.
when the satellites were going to take over the cars and drive everyone into the Grand Canyon. It's on, baby. It's on.
Now it's the Russians using the satellites to drive everyone into
Ruskies
the.
are going to kill us behind our own wheel.
Yeah, where we feel the safest.
I was yapping about this like 15, 13 years ago,
That
whatever.
goes back to Loveline, yeah.
It may be Loveline, if not Loveline, the morning show, but I had a good 15-year head start on this one. But
It's coming.
it's here, man. It's coming. God damn.
Nick Cage
crazy.
in.
Yeah. I had Bruce Willis as the guy who drove the old Bronco.
Yep.
And of course, the opening scene had to be he's working for like Caltech or something, you know, and he pulls in and he's late and he pulls in and there's the hot scientist chick who's standing out front. Like the presentation's already started. He's like, the Bronco overheated again. I had to pull off and tell her. And she's like, why are you driving that old dinosaur? Why don't you join us in the new age with something modern?
She
He's
beat
like,
her Tesla lock. Bleep, bleep.
yeah, and he's just like, I just, I don't. Listen, call me old fashioned. I like a car I can bump start if I have to. And they laugh and they walk in. That's the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the beginning.
To
of
hear
the
the
movie.
end, tune in tomorrow.
That's right. That's lights
tease.
up. Navageddon. All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Retard. Retard.
That was the news with Gina Grad.